I'm a developer, and every day I usually try to create some new products or projects, or working on some projects with the team. And that means that I work with different architectures, different packages, different libraries, and different codebases. Sometimes, for the current time, we usually use libraries or packages to share the reusable code which can be used for all projects. Let me show. So usually we have a project, maybe some different projects. It can be application or game, something different. And to work with all three projects, usually you don't want to write the code 3 times, because, for example, if you wrote once authentication, you will want to share this authentication for all projects you have. And for all projects in different frameworks or languages, we usually use some registry like npm for JavaScript or TypeScript, or pub for Dart ecosystem, or maybe I will run there by cargo for Rust, etc. etc. So this authentication package eventually will be published to some registry, and usually developer who will maintain this library or contributors will create some documentations for this library, some maybe readme, etc. etc. However, there is a single problem. If you have different projects and you start a new project from the beginning, and you just started from scratch, and I assume that everybody now work with the agent, of course, what you will try to do is to bootstrap this project as fast as possible. However, all documentation and readme for the package we usually use are maybe it's published as a website, or maybe it's just a documentation on GitHub, on GitLab, Bitbucket. But anyway, this documentation, how to perform first thing, how to install and how to configure this package, would be written for a human for eventually. So to install action actually is not very difficult action. We can use npm install, and that's it. And you may be thinking that it's already working, but in all projects that will be, or not just npm install, it can be any different command for any different registry you're using. So for configuration, there is no command, because usually authentication will be configured and tailored for your project, and needs to be tailored for your codebase, precisely your codebase. So what usually I do, and most developers I know do, is to go to website or try to find documentation, or try to format documentation to LLM, maybe a markdown, to understand the difference and the actionable steps they need to take to configure this library for your specific project. So here we have configure. Let's separate it, and let's imagine abstract package. we try to format to LLM format, maybe create some actionable steps, and combining all of that, place it into your new project. But in my opinion, it's quite different and quite difficult, because usually it's not just one package. Usually it's several packages, and imagine you I think as a developer working with UI libraries, you have analytics, Crashlytics, maybe some different shareable logic if you working on modular architecture. So you may end up with different packages, libraries you need to install, configure, and this is not the end. After installation and configuration to your particular project and all projects you're working with, you usually need to maintain it, because here is after 2 months new version, and after new version there is breaking changes, and you need to analyze all breaking changes or understand how this will affect your project, how what changes do you need to do in your project to upgrade to new project. And again, you will go to the website to see the docs and try to understand, compare with the project documentation, etc. So in other cases, you may find that the project you were working in library or packages is deprecated, and maybe not deprecated, but you need to just remove it. And if you're using this project for example, for projects, or this project is quite have roots in all code base and all places in your project. Imagine you need to analyze what should be and how this should be uninstalled, basically. So this leads to uninstall action. And if you look closely, as I thought, you may see that this pattern is quite understandable, and actually we use it every day. And what I mean is every person, I think, use phone for everyday basis, and this phone, and if you are a developer, of course you are using computer, some sort of. So you have actually 2 devices at least, and all these devices have applications and have games, and this kind of programs you usually manage quite simply. Maybe not all operational systems, but most of these sections are automated, and that's why, for example, on Windows we have installer, or in macOS you just drag and drop, and maybe you have some install process too, but they're quite automated. So you on phones, for example, you never actually do something when you install application. So that means when you working on the if you want to install or configure, or configure, okay, configure, update, and uninstall. All those actions for application games usually are manageable actions. Half automated or completely automated. So this means that every time, for example, on the phone, you click install, you literally install it and configure it. So you're never thinking about how this process would work. And I just have a thought, why we not apply this pattern for the libraries? Because as you can see, in all libraries we can the same actionable things, actions like install, configure, uninstall, and update, of course, and adapt it and automate it. And the thought is actually lead me to the what I've called agentic executables. So basically, agentic executables is just a framework, or you can say prompts, or maybe it will become ecosystem, maybe it will become a deprecated project, who knows, but for now it works. I don't know, let's just call it that way. What does it mean? So and what the goal? The goal is to make all those actions for libraries, for different packages, for everything we use as developers, to projects, for any languages, for any frameworks, as easy as you use applications. So let me write it. Manage it as applications. That's the goal of the agentic executables. So how to actually achieve it? So and what could be the reasonable and simplest way for the current time to work with and make it work? I think that since we all working with AI agents, let's assume that we have at least one AI agent. We have at least a chat, and we can route this AI agent. For example, if I want to install, I can start from create a plan to install, for example, this particular library as agentic executable. And the same goes for any action. So the prompt would be like this, and I think this would be much better than going to the websites. But how you can ask how this can work, and so this is view at point of view as developer. So think that developer is a end user of this library. So this is a prompt. And this is a goal. So to achieve this, I've developed an MCP with some predefined tools and prompts. And also, to support MCP, I created a registry of agentic executable files. So basically how it works, when you as a developer need to install or configure the particular library for your particular project as agentic executable, AI agent will call MCP tool and ask, hey, do you have agentic executable installation and configuration documentation adapted for me, so I can read all the documentation that I need to make this particular action, so to install or configure or uninstall and so on. So the MCP tool will check the registry for those files, and if registry has this tailored for this tailored agentic executable docs, or I think docs, no, instructions, let's say instructions tailored for actions, for AI actions. So if registry has these files for these particular actions, then MCP tool will return required instruction, and the AI agent would create a plan, because we are asking for it, to not just install, to make actions required, and not just make these actions, but actually to find how these actions should be applied for your particular project. So here we go, and we have another concept of textual awareness, and for what I mean is, this is awareness about project and awareness about action, and for particular library. This is what will give this contextual awareness for AI agent to actually make this prompt as simple as it seems. So with all this knowledge, what he needs to do to actually execute all steps required for library to install, configure for this project, he will create a plan, and then if developer approves it or makes some configuration, he will try to implement it. I think that's it. So basically what this means is that this process when you are asking for instructions, when you're trying to format it for LLM format, will be compacted to just one prompt, one MCP, and registry as a ecosystem behind it. So this is how developer can use it, how developer can use agentic executables, but how actually make it work for library after. And to make it simple, So this is one side. This is side of end user as developer as one user. So this side point of view as library author. Library author. So this is it. So to support and make it simpler for library authors to convert any library to agentic executable, the same MCP tools and the same agent, as you can see, you can use any agent you like, Gemini, any agent literally which supports MCP. So the library after then just tell a agent to bootstrap this library as agentic executable. That's it. So how this prompt will work? AI agent will call MCP tool to get particular instructions what AI agent should do and how convert this library and create specific instructions which are used, which will be used as developer. So the agent, let's place it here. MCP will return prompt. I think it will be better to call it prompt meta prompt or meta instructions. Instructions. Meta prompt instructions. Okay, so to be used as AI agent. And AI agent will create specific files, these instructions, for all actions. And the most important thing that all files in this AI agent which will be created by this AI agent will not be just abstract patterns or abstract prompts. They will be essential quintessence of this library. So AI agent would analyze how to actually make these actions happen, how to install this library, how to configure it, how to use it, how to uninstall it. And by use, I mean, for example, if you are using localization or some library in many places, you may ask AI agent to generate rules. So this rule purpose to give AI agent context how this library can be used for generation of usage patterns. Or let's go to rules. Okay, so this is it, and this would be placed to the folder which I called a agentic executable use folder. And after that there will be another command, the same simple as the first one. So send or submit library as agentic executable. That's it. Maybe one more action. So how this will work is when AI agent will make it a little bit more aligned. So when AI agent will see this prompt, he will again ask MCP server what needs to be done. And MCP server has a set of tools to prepare this PR, those files to make PR for registry. So actually all those files would be packed as PR to maybe fork or clone for this registry. Something like that. So, and that's it. This is the whole process. So again, this is not, this maybe seems complicated, but let's just focus on how it would be used. The developer just tells the action and which library he's working, and just tells the agent to work with it as agentic executable. And every AI agent will just ask MCP what he needs to be done, get instructions from registry, merge it with knowledge of your particular project and your particular code base, and try to perform this object. And in this way, you literally can make complicated things like configuration, installation, placing into your architecture, adapting for your architecture, is as simple as you work with application and games. I think that's it. That's the theory, and it already works. So let's go to the second part. And here I have the list of my personal projects, my personal packages. Those are Dart projects, but again, with agentic executables, you don't need to think about language or framework, because it will work for all languages and frameworks. So here I have the review package. What it does is just a facade, you can say, or have some UI to show user, hey, rate this application from 1 to 5, call and show it to user. So the specifics doesn't matter, but what matter is I want to add new library and configure it for this particular project. And new library I want to add is actually Logger. You can imagine this can be not just Logger, it can be any library, and not exactly in this monorepository, but anywhere, npm and any registry. So this doesn't matter. So to make it work, first I already have the MCP tool running. This is agentic executable, and as you can see, it has several tools: get agentic executable instructions, get agentic executable definition. This is just to add knowledge for AI agent to understand how agentic executable theory works. So this is context for AI agent to work with this framework. Verify agentic executable implementation, evaluate agentic executable compliance, and manage agentic executable registry. So this is fun for maintenance and for getting instructions for particular library. So let's begin. Create a plan to install configure space logger for space, maybe not 4 but just 2 salt base. Review as agentic executable, and that's it. So as you can see, agents, this is, for example, after agent, so I don't know what exactly the LLM is used, but first it gets the agentic executable definition just to understand more context and which tools it can use. And unfortunately it's a little bit cheated, so as you can see, it is tried to find to agentic executable, use, install, context, and use files in this mono repository, so it doesn't use registry. However, let's see, creates a plan. Let's see how it will work. Maybe this process can be different from agent to agent, and some agents can create files, and maybe it will be better to just say that this plan not needed is markdown, but this doesn't matter actually. So he created a plan. Let's see what agent is created. The target package is exospace review, logger library exospace logger with this particular version. This plan provides step-by-step guide to install, configure, and integrate logger to review. The goals: structured login to exospace review for debugging and production monitoring, integrate login integration points, enable environment aware login configuration, maintain and ensure installation compatibility. And as you can see, he tries to identify steps and not just to add to the pub spec, and this is like a list of all packages, but just to understand how to add it to all files. And this should work, because now even the LLM is not trained to understand the logger, because it just created yesterday. LLM has knowledge about its API and how it should be installed and used. Sorry. So let's see all he would prefer to do. Logger. I don't agree with this plan, so I will ask him to make one more iteration and please the plan and make the possible only so that product would be okay. Let's see. So I actually asked him to refactor the plan because he initialized the logger inside the package, and since this is a package, this is not correct way to actually integrate the logger, because I want to actually pass the logger from the project above the package. So let's see how he handles that. Previously I've tried it with Cloud 4.5 and it worked great, but let's see how AutoMod will handle it. This is config. Let's see. Okay, he understood what needs to be done. This is better. Parameters. Okay, great. So far, AI agent understood what should be and how this should be fixed. So it's quite different that for the Cloud 4.5 handle it, but this is, I think this is acceptable. So this is, he updated the README, suggested to update the README. Okay. And as you can see, I've at least scrolled down to the almost the end of the plan. A part of the prompt is a validation checklist, and here is a test. Maybe that's not needed actually. Integration test too much. This would be too much, I think. Okay. I think that works great. Yes, and as far as you can see, this is why I've told that he's a little bit cheated, because he has links to the Excel space logger agentic executable use file, files and install, use context, and etc. So if I will go to this folder, those files are the ones that are submitted actually to registry. And as far you can see, the installation will require agent not to just install, but choose configuration preset, initialize logger, bridge to application layer. So actually those are files, not just installation, but that's configuration and integration files, and that's why it works. So I think I agree with this file and this plan. Okay. Let's implement it. I hope that it will be quite fast, because I don't want to to wait to see. Okay, he's cheated again. He's trying to use the relative path to the project, the package, but actually, since I already released it, we don't need that. The smarter agents will understood that maybe the prompts will need some fine-tuning, and some fine-tuning for monorepos, so a agent would understand better how to handle and when handle these corner cases, maybe with some options to be presented for developer. So let's see what agent is doing, and let's install it. So we'll not wait until he will do all the work. So here is a logger. Okay, logger right, debug 4, debug 4. That's okay. I think that's the correct way to integrate. Let's see. This is config for logger, but I think this is wrong way, because usually we don't have a config for just one logger. We have for one library we have config for all libraries, but I see that some works need to be done with the agent. Maybe smarter LLMs would understand it, because it really depends what agent you are using. Okay, but let's see, is he's using it somewhere? Okay, yes. Okay, that's okay. So actually he used it for the tests, and I think that's okay. The tests are broken. I hope he will fix it. Let's see what works and what is not. Okay. Okay, he added documentation. That's great. He added information for changelog. And I think he is losing it with the tests. Let me see. Yes, I don't have the tests, but he's trying to wait a minute. Okay, he tries to delete it, but I think this is wrong way. Okay, please keep it. You don't need to delete it. Why delete it? I think that with the after mod there will be some edge cases, as you can see, but with high-end models I think that would be much faster process and much better quality. See, reject and stop. Okay, so I will remove the plan. Let me check again. Maybe manually check, fix all the bugs, because just logger dependency injection. Let's see what it does. Register db. Okay, he requested mock local db, which are not exists. Okay. is already created. Mock local database. Okay, and he's completely wrong about mocking it. Not the best thing. I think I'll need to handle this. Differently. But again, I think this is problem with this particular agent, not the framework, because he just stuck on the simple thing, and this is quite ridiculous problem. Let's see how he designed the tests. Okay, test paths, and let's see that the tests are reasonable enough and really required. So he got the config and checks that the config is correct. The checking config logger extensions. So he tests extensions, and these tests are quite meaningless at all. I think can safely delete it. But maybe not. Maybe they have meaning that they are working. Extension will work with the installation logger. Okay, logger initialized. Okay, so this is null logger, initialized logger. Okay, I see. So this is just implementation. Some logic. Let's see what he does later. Can init. Okay. Actually, this test does nothing. I think they almost completely useless, because actually he doesn't check anything. So I'm not sure that we actually should keep it, because it's much simpler to just remove it and forget about it. Let's see, is he using any of those extensions anywhere? No, he doesn't use it any. Okay, so this is actually definitely the flow of this agent. I see. Okay, so this should be refactored. Okay, let's try with again Anton. Please. Actually, let's just create another branch and continue with the demonstration, because this is just a part of work and nothing interesting. Let's see. Okay, I will fix it later. So this is example how the library can be installed to another library, and to make an example how library can be submitted to the registry, let's try that. So please create a plan to drop view as agentic executable. This is quite important thing, and I don't want to miss this as previous version, so let's hope it will work as expected. Usually I prefer use cloud code, but in the current time I've reached all limits for cloud code and I cannot use it. So here it is. Of course, I'll create a plan, bootstrap, Excel space review as agentic executable. As you can see, he understood the context and etc. He got instructions, and the instructions are actually, again, the meta instructions, how agent should use agentic executable. Let's see the prompts, bootstrap and context library. Okay. I have instructions for bootstrap, and it follows create and set markdown files that will guide an agent in using your Excel space review library. Here is the plan. As you can see, he correctly identified that I use a library. That is expected. So as you can see, he will generate following files inside agentic executable use directory in this package, which will be install, uninstall, update, and use. So I will now create a task list, progress, hello, la la la, create, analyze, again, is okay. So he wrote twice the same. Please implement it. Quite stupid, but okay. Okay, I've created a directory. Okay, analyze. I have analyzed pubspec YAML and README files for Excel space review. Let's see actually what he analyzed. He analyzed dependencies. Okay, so core principle. Wait. Core principle, where is it? Core principle, main components, dependencies, platform specific packages. My next step is to examine public API. That's great. Okay. Where did he find this file? Oh, I see. I wrote incorrect file. It's left from my refactoring, so my bad. And he created already four files. Let's see how they look like. So the first file is install. This document provides instructions for an agent to install, configure, and integrate. So example from Google Play, install store, pub-get. Here is implementing local database. Okay, agentic action. Okay, So he describing how to set up local database. I'm not sure that it's correct way, but it's fixable. And these files are important because they will be used again as an agent to automate installation. Once you wrote it, you should never touch it until you updated library, and that's why it should be written quite perfectly and mainly by AI agent to AI agent. And actually it is quite better to spend high value tokens for to write quality documentation for library and use maybe not as you can see, not every AI agent will follow the plan, but still it may be worth to try use less experienced agent. So integration, integrate review foundation. So he just described how this can be installed. This is file where agent describes how this code should be removed from the project or library, I don't know. The most important that, as you can see, he provided examples to make it simpler, so an agent who will use it would understand patterns. The update logic is quite not ready yet, I think. The prompts are quite not ready yet because at the current time I don't quite understand how to create beta system for update prompts, how to compare previous error or current version and fetch particular version for and find difference, but I think this is task for future updates. And agentic use. So the use, again, this is how this package can be used in your library, how AI agent you can use this library. So you can generate from this file patterns, rules, and so on. So usually earlier I've created all those files, I'm sure you too, by trying to analyze the whole patterns in the particular folder and so on and so on. But with agentic executables it becomes just some kind of automated work where you just tell agent what to do and he'll bootstrap it for you, and you will just work more on documentation and more for patterns, I think. And the next step, actually, let's just keep it. And next step actually is to submit all those files to the registry. So I already have the registry cloned to my computer, so I will just tell please, and I don't think I need Gemini for that, please submit Excel space review. I will not edit files for this current time because in this video I would like to show the whole process, but in your work you can of course edit and iterate over those files as you usually does for your code. So please submit Excel space review for agentic executable registry. Not I've cloned the registry to the Let's see how he handles that. So first he found the folder. He checked that those all folders files are present. Now he checks the status of this particular project. This is part of the prompts to generate correct URL to make the process of creating PR easier. As you can see, as you can see, he ran again manage agentic executable registry. Okay, with the parameter submit to registry and with particular library URL and agentic files. So this is it. Space review. So as you can see, he tries to cd to the folder to check out new branch to create new folder specifically tailored for those files and this particular library. I thought that would be great if for any language we have prefix which will be used as language, because in different languages we usually have the same may have same names for packages, and I see it is not here. Okay, it's not visible. I see. Okay, we'll show this. Let's see. Okay, so now you can see, I think. So Dart Excel space review, and Dart is name of language which I am using to write this particular library. So now he is trying to copy those files, all those files, and also as the part of submission for the registry, he is generating specific file is a review. Review is a quite simple file, and here we go. He is located it in correct place, but I think it's error in the prompt of MCP. This is short file, and this is strange. It's not my name. Okay, he is hallucinated. Okay. So he committed all those files and checked the status. Let's see. At the end of his actions, agent should give a link to create new PR. Let's see. Fermented. No. Okay. Okay, he's hallucinating again. That's not great. The after mode is not great. Yes, so you can see that the next step is suggesting to create pull request, and the pull request for creation for pull request, he already generated the link. So I hope it will work with the forks, but I'm not sure. This is not how this supposed to be. So this should be like this. More smart agent will add it to the commit, but okay, that's okay too. Okay, so let's see actually what is added to the registry. So you can see that reviews here, but of course he automated. Let's check that everything is the description is correct, the repository is correct, I think. For the showcase purpose, that's okay, but it can be much better with Cloud Code, I think, or maybe ChatGPT, or maybe the Grok will handle that much better. I don't know. This should be tested. I've tested only with Cloud Code and it worked much better. But anyway, this is how agentic executable can, the whole process, how it can be created, how it can be used, how it can be used, I think. So in this example, for example, from now on, after this PR is merged, you can imagine that any developer can just write, create a plan to use or integrate Excel space review as agentic executable, and agent will inject by the instruction of agent here the review files to your project. Of course, this is quite new technique. There will be bugs, as you can see. There's bugs depending from some of them I think from MCP, some of them I think from AI agent. So I think it's better to choose better agent, which will make the work better. But as you can see, it will work with rough edges with the Aftermath 2. So I think that's it. If you have any opinion or thoughts, please join Discord server or write to issues. Try to use it carefully with your personal project or projects you are working. I don't know. Thank you for watching and have a great day, I think.